meeting. As customary, we always have prayer before our meetings, and I've asked Mr. Tom Hart if he would come and lead us in this prayer at this time.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this county. We thank you for these fellows for serving this county the way that they do. We thank you for all of our blessings. Thank you for the opportunities that you give us to solve problems. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for that. We appreciate it. I'd like to welcome each of you here, whether you're here in attendance in our in the building, or whether you're watching ATC Channel 3 or our Hart County Board of Commissioners YouTube channel. We do appreciate you taking an interest in our county business here. I mean, this is your money. This is, everyone, we're the only ones you see up here a lot of times, and we're making decisions, but we're trying our best to make decisions for your best interest. So with that being said, we'll get a motion to approve the agenda. I don't know of any amendments, Mr. Gordon?
No, I don't know of any, and I really don't have need for an executive session litigation. There may be.
I think we wanted to update from the meeting the other night.
We need to talk.
All right,
Okay, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey, second by Commissioner Teasley. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 4-0 vote. All right. We'll go on to approving the minutes of previous meeting, March 22nd, 2022 regular meeting. Do we have a motion to
I make a motion we approve the 3/22/22 regular meeting minutes.
I second.
Okay, we got a motion second. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 4-0 vote. Any additions or corrections to the 3/29/2022 called meeting? If not, can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
We got a motion by Commissioner Teasley. Second. We got a second by Commissioner Bennett. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 4-0 vote. All right, now April 5th, 2022 call meeting. Any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, can we get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion we approve the 4/5/22 call meeting minutes.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Teasley. We got a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dorsey. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 4-0 vote. Okay, remarks by invited guests, committees, and authorities. Tonight we have Mr. Bill Leard is going to, he's the chairman of our Archway Executive Committee here in Hart County. He's going to speak, and then I think Rosanna's got some things that she wants to go over with us. So,
thank you, Chairman Sayer and Commissioners. I'm honored to represent the Hart County Executive Committee of the Archway Partnership, and I appreciate the support of the members that have attended tonight. I want to ask you to stand if you don't mind. Dwayne, Terry, Mr. Phillips, Jeff Brown has been on our committee and resigned, just officially retired, but was just a valued member, and I wish Terrell was here tonight to give him our thanks. So Terrell's just a great member to representing y'all's board. Our executive committee is made up of members representing the 6 funding partners, consisting of the Hart County Board of Commissioners, City of Hartwell, Hart County Board of Education, and Hart County Industrial Authority, Hart County Chamber of Commerce, and Hart Telephone Company. Additional members on the committee represent all aspects of the community, including health care, agriculture, utilities, and long-time community service and leadership. Archway's mission is to connect the Georgia communities with higher education resources to address locally identified community and economic development needs. In fulfilling this mission, Archway also helps the University of Georgia faculty obtain important research opportunities and provide real-world learning experiences for their students. The Archway Partnership empowers our community to address long-standing and critical community and economic development needs. They've allowed our community to address issues related to economic development, education, workforce development, leadership, health and welfare, overall quality of life, and more. Our projects are not decided by the UGA, but are determined by our members of the Executive Committee with help from other community members who attend listening sessions or participate in our various work groups. Archway then acts as a connection point between the communities and UGA students and faculty to work on those selected projects. The key to Archway's success in Hart County and other counties that are lucky enough to have our Archway Partnership is support from the funding partners, and the equally key important is an Archway professional that coordinates the association between the community and the UGA resources. Hart County's long-standing relationship with Archway has allowed our program to be lucky enough to have had 3 different Archway professionals, and each one of them has been an asset to UGA and Hart County. Their work in our community has been seamless in the transition between each professional, and each one has entered our community and continued the work that began in 2008. UGA students and staff have been the best of the best. We've been fortunate to have the opportunity to work with them in whatever capacity they were involved with, whether it be education, engineering, business, landscape design, mural design, and many others. We've never been disappointed in their efforts. Before I introduce Rosanna, Hart County's Archway professional, I'd like to thank each one of you for the support you've shown Archway. Your continued support has been instrumental in the growth and progress of Hart County, City of Hart, and the Hart County Charter School System. I know that Archway has been a significant partner in the success of the Hart County Industrial Building Authority. I believe this is a vital part of our success for the whole community. The key point I'd like to emphasize is any work that Archway has been responsible for has been beneficial for all our citizens in the county. Rosanna has been a part of Archway Professional here in Hartwell since 2019. She's been with Archway since 2012, and she actually entered our program with more experience than any of our other previous professionals. She has been a tremendous asset to Hart County Archway Partnership here in Hart County, and I want to publicly congratulate her on a recent award as a doctoral candidate from the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication. And at this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Rosanna Cruz-Bibb to give her a report on Archway's work in our community.
Thank you, Bill. Congratulations.
It's still a new title, so it feels a little weird, but thank you very much, Bill. So I do have these one-pagers, if anybody wants any. So Jeff, I don't know. Yes.
I think we've already got it.
Yes, they should have, but anyone in the audience who wants any. Thank you so much for having me tonight and for allowing me to be your Archway professional. I have been with Archway, as Bill said, since 2012, but serving Hart County specifically since 2019, and then I became your full-time Archway professional in 2020. So it has just been an absolute pleasure to be with you all and to serve such a wonderful collaborative community. So Bill was sort of saying that UGA has a lot of amazing partners, but truly your community is the place where all of this magic happens because you work together so well, you're so collaborative, you look out for each other. So the work that we do would not be possible at all without you being just as wonderful and amazing as you are. So thank you for that. You make my job easy and just a lot of fun too. So thank you. Okay, so that one pager that you have, if you wanted to kind of look at that, over the past year, you guys were part of 17 completed projects. That's not counting all of the ones that we're still currently working on. You had 22 students, so that's graduate students, undergraduate students. We had 13 engaged faculty members working in your community. for a conservative estimate of $206,000 for your $50,000 investment across the whole community. So those numbers, we do have sort of like a metric that we do, but those are usually a pretty conservative amount. So that jail feasibility site that we had done previous year, that was estimated at over $350,000 for your $12,000 investment for that year alone. So you have an engineering project currently going on for your Milltown campgrounds, and I anticipate that that one will also come back as a pretty hefty return on investment for you all. So that's pretty exciting, right? And then other projects that we're working on right now, we have continued the work with the Poverty Task Force across Hart County. So one of the really exciting wins out of that was Legacy Link was able to connect with St. Vincent de Paul, and that actually resulted in a new brown bag program for some of your seniors across the county because they had grant funding. So that means more food for your elderly citizens. So that's just one of the wins. We have more professors coming up next week, actually, to do research on dementia and Alzheimer's, rural health needs, and then also farmer suicide prevention, because they all got grant money from UGA to help specifically Hart County and help your citizens, basically. So proximity to UGA is also convenient because they can travel to you guys a little bit easier, too. So that has definitely been a benefit as well. But other project, tourism product development. There's a group of Terry College of Business students who are looking at your tourism assets in your community, and they're putting together a lookbook for other people to come in and say, you know, hey, these are really awesome assets. What else could we potentially be doing in Hart County and Hartwell across your entire community to basically leverage the assets that you have and also look into the future? What else can you be doing to increase your tourism value, right? So those are just some of the things we're working on currently, and then, like I said, that one pager is really from the past year. So we're just so excited to be here. I know there's some research from the past year that we had done with the Botanical Garden. We did designs for them for landscape architecture, and we had done research for them as well. We've continued work with the Hart County Training School and then also Harmony Grove to look at honoring your African American citizens and their history as well and preserving it. We've continued work with Northview Cemetery. So based on designs from many years ago, they built that columbarium, and that's just an amazing win and just something that we've been so proud to be part of. And I don't know, I know we have quite a few Archway executive committee members here, and you guys have been part of projects. If there's anything that you kind of want to say about Archway or kind of the work that you've done?
We utilize a great deal of the landscape and design architecture. I'm sorry, I'm almost got magnetized all this fall. The engineering, landscape, architectural design have been very heavy. The Industrial Building Authority has done us some research that we have done to help find different business sectors throughout Western Europe to go and recruit and try to bring to our county. So Archway is something that's it's in our wheelhouse every day.
I can say from the chamber, we appreciate the collaborative effort that we give to being a part of Archway. It's really nice to bring the people to the table. It's great to get everybody on board going towards the same goals and have a voice. So we appreciate that. We love our mural that was done, and I think it adds a lot to downtown feel for the chamber. So we appreciate those efforts. And it's just been a real pleasure to get to work with everybody on board. I've enjoyed every second of it. I think it's been beneficial to all of us.
I've got one. I can't help but take a moment to thank Archway as well. I was chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Northview Cemetery, which is the city cemetery behind the old jail. It was laid out in 1856, among the first 100 parcels ever established in the city of Hartwell. There had been, my group was formed in the early 90s for the purpose of trying to bring together resources that would help upkeep and repair the cemetery, because many of the people, and we have revolutionary time period people there. We have quite a number of Civil War vets and others, and a lot of those families have simply died out and are unable to take care of the grave. And we try to do that as best we can. And we realized a couple of weeks ago that one thing that might be needed in the city as a part of the cemetery would be a columbarium garden. A columbarium is basically a structure that you put niches in, and niches hold people's remains after cremation. And that being a growing, there being a growing number of people who choose that matter of burial or choose that over burial. We asked Archway to help with this, and that was right before your time, but then you came in and also helped quite a bit. But they put together a remarkable product of landscape design and site planning, and we were fortunate enough to bring in some significant contributions, and we were fortunate enough to be able to build that structure almost exactly as it is in the plan. And if you haven't been there, if you haven't been to the Northview Cemetery, you should go look at that. Hopefully some of you may buy a few boxes. We actually have sold quite a few already.
All right, thank you.
I need to add a facilitation of the Ag Expo. That was probably my favorite event the Archway Partnership with, to highlight agriculture in our county. It was a really nice thing for the chamber to be a part of.
So, I mean, any number of projects that have not been mentioned but might be on there, or are sort of still in progress. So a lot of different things. If you have questions, certainly I'm available to you. Please feel free to call me, talk to me, whatever. And we're always happy to take a project by the executive committee and get their thoughts and continue working together. So thank you very much for letting us kind of talk to you tonight. And if you have any questions, please just let me know.
Y'all also help us with a comprehensive plan also, correct?
Many years ago.
The comprehensive plan as well as the cyber arch.
Okay.
Cybersecurity was coordinated through Hart Telecom and Archway when Dennis Collins was still here.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Had over 275 projects since 2008. That kind of gives you an idea. Those are completed projects, right? And sometimes we'll start something maybe not able to do. Those are completed projects. The graduate will do a pretty nice volume of work. Thanks to support and y'all and other places.
All right. Any other questions from commissioners?
I'd like to personally thank them for all they do.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you. It would
Yeah,
not be possible without you.
I remember when you done the jail feasibility study, there was several different areas that we were looking at as far as trying to make the best decision we could, and then we called on them, and they done a super project on that and brought back points that maybe we hadn't thought of that is going to save us money. Even though it saved us money from the $12,000 investment from the engineering fees, but save us money in the long run also. So I would say, since we have the MOU tonight, I know it's not on the agenda, but it's the same one that we've had for the last 5 years, that is $12,000. The conditions are the same. I'll make a motion, we go ahead and approve the MOU for Archway tonight.
You're gonna make it contingent on everybody else stuff. I mean,
Contingent on
the other funding partners, because our funding is based on that. We just gotta make sure it's
city. Well, as persuasive as they are, I don't see
Shouldn't be a
nobody
problem,
backing
but
down.
just technicality.
You got the deck stacked.
But yes, I'll make it contingent on the other partners. And just for the record, so everyone knows, Hart County Board of Commissioners donate $12,000. City of Hartwell's $12,000. Hart County Board of Education is $12,000. Hart County Industrial Building Authority is $5,000. Hart County Chamber of Commerce is $4,000. And Hart Telephone Company is $5,000. That's the funding that we provide here in Hart County together for Archway to do all these projects that you see uptown. So,
We are a state-funded organization because the University of Georgia is a public land grant institution. So basically, we serve the state because we do get tax dollars to fund the University of Georgia. And the cost, the $50,000 that Commissioner Sayer is mentioning, is about a third of the cost it takes to run Archway in each community. So you pay about a third of what it costs to have Archway in each community.
all right, we got a motion. Commissioner Teasley, second. Any discussion? Any of y'all got any questions? This is, like I said, your money, and we're...
We just want you to remember that if there's Terrell's going to bring us any ideas, if y'all got ideas, we'll run through him, and we enjoy doing it, but these kids are great.
Yeah, right.
My daughter's interior.
We're going to have one later on tonight
She's a junior.
that Rosanna and I talked about,
Hannah.
Okay.
just so you're aware.
Well, if no other discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 4-0 vote. Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Rosanna. All right, report by constitutional officers and department heads. Mr. Gordon.
Mr. Chairman, I have a fairly brief report, but at a meeting, I believe it was your last meeting or next to last, you had approved Hart County's participation in the National Opioid Settlement Group. This is not something that we chose to be a part of at the time that the suit was first brought by private attorneys. We elected not to. Several state attorney generals, I believe 34, then got involved and filed separate suits on behalf of all their states and all the cities and counties. That case now has developed a common settlement fund of a very significant amount of money when you look at it nationwide. We were asked if we wanted to participate in the settlement, and at that meeting, y'all very wisely prompted me to speak to the sheriff about that and gain his concurrence before we did it, and I did, and we have that. So we have now registered as a part of that settlement. I don't know that we really will have anything coming from it. That's the next round. The next round, at the first round, they see how many cities and counties will participate, and the more that participate, then the greater amount of funds will be allocated to the state of Georgia. And that will then result in amounts being paid to cities and counties for various things. I understand that there may be a treatment center that will be built somewhere in Fulton County, but of course they have a huge problem there, and in numbers far beyond anything that we have. So I don't really know that it will necessarily result in any windfall, but I did want to let you know that that has been done, and you have been registered. And also, I want to confess something. I was involved in something else today, and I did not properly review my agenda, and I didn't bring my short-term rental file. Okay, I'm happy to try to answer any questions, but I'll be laboring in the dark.
Okay, thank you. County Administrator's report. Our county administrator, he is furthering his education at the time with EMA and doing the state updates and those sorts of things. So, but I'd just like to take a moment and tell the county how much we appreciate Terrell in this county. Every opportunity he has to go to a class or whatever, he'll be with us in a couple of weeks in Savannah taking more classes. So he's doing his best here in Hart County. He loves Hart County, and we really, really appreciate Terrell being our county administrator. As far as the chairman's report, I'll go over our financial dashboard. I know we don't have it on the screen right quick, so I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of numbers. I'm going to tell you the main things. Our actual revenue was $772,000, $924,477 was our actual expenses, and that's in a budget of $1,159,446. Okay, and then lost, it has come back a little bit. It's at $305,785. EMS fees, they're back in the green again, 2 months in a row, and I think we're going to talk about why that's a factor here in a moment also, at $106,623. Vehicle title fee come in at $118,829. So as of today, the county's in good shape. We're working well within our budget, and we'll give the credit to our employees of this county, our department heads that work real hard to keep in line with our budget that we approve each year. So that's all I have as chairman's report.
You want to cover Payne's Creek?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's another page to this. Payne's Creek, this has been keep in mind, Payne's Creek was a core part that the federal government shut down because they were losing $25,000 a year. Federal government sometimes may not know how to work money as good as local government, because we don't work this money good, we're out of here. We get voted out, So, but the federal government, they seem to get away with a lot more than what we can. But we have taken in, as in the month of March, $67,152. We had cancellations and refunds of $5,178, and our actual expenses were $11,400. So we're to the good $50,574 this month. So, and it may not be that way all the way through the year, but that's why we do these things right here. That's why we do these dashboards, so we can keep up with it and not let several months go by and find out we got a problem. We can usually know that we got a problem when it happens. Okay. We'll go on to Commissioner's report. District 1, Commissioner Bennett.
Everything's running pretty smooth in my county other than the trash on the road, and I know we're working on that. And I know bush hogging's about to start when they get around. I'd like to say that ex-Commissioner Oglesby lost a son last night, and I'd like for everybody to pray for his family. Fred, RC's son, died last night. Yeah, just everybody keep them in your family in your prayers. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, District 2, Commissioner Teasley.
I had a request about using the Reed Creek gym up there from one of the coaches, and is that something we wanted to let him and the county administrator get together and see what they can work out, or maybe put it on the agenda for the next meeting and get the coach to come and see what we can work out?
I say, let's
let them work something out. But
Dorsey.
Couple things. Highway 29 South, just past the Marathon store. I don't know how many people know where I'm talking about, but it's going toward Royston between. And in that passing lane, there's a fairly sharp curve in the passing lane. If you're turning out going north, you'll get run over. Because people are flying up and down through there. I reached out to Jason Dykes this morning. We had a serious accident there last night. It didn't involve that, but this is something we've talked about before. And I've asked them to take a look at that as far as taking the hill down and taking some of those trees out so you can actually see around that curve. I just want to let everybody know that is one thing that is in the works, and I'll be meeting with the DOT folks out there sometime in the next week or so, as soon as they reach back out to me. But it's a safety issue, and it's a visibility issue, it's a speed issue, it's just a bad situation. And we will be proactive as we have been with other intersections and things that we've had going on. So just wanted to let everybody know that's what's going on. And I also want to send my condolences out to the Oglesby family as well. This was definitely something that was not expected yesterday. That's all I have.
I'd also like to echo those sentiments and those condolences to the Oglesby family. Fred was in my place of business the other day, and we were cutting up, and, I always liked Fred because he had a happy spirit about him. I mean, and we just, our prayers go out to the Oglesby family. So we'll move on to old business, short-term rental ordinance discussion. I know that we have started this discussion back in October, and we've kind of looked at some things in different ordinances from different counties, and then we had other issues that came up in this county. We seen a need for building inspector. We seen a need for subdivision ordinance refining and whatever. So we kind of set that aside to get some of these other priority involved. And I know that if it affects you, that it is your priority, but we try to look out for the county as a whole and try to weigh priorities that way. But if you, I know we had some emails that was given to us as far as suggestions on the taking Hall County or Forsyth County's ordinance and kind of looking over it and see how it fits Hart County. And I had Lisa was so good to print these out for us today as far as the noise part of it, and I'd like for each of you to take that home and look at it. My concern is 100 feet from the point of origin. Is that too much, or is that not enough? I mean, that's something I think we need to weigh for Hart County, 100 feet from, if you can hear that noise 100 feet away, then it's too loud. So that's one thing that we need to look at. And then it has all the definitions of what can cause these loud noises. But I'll just go over some of the suggestions that was made. One of them was that in the ordinance it said 21 years of age who is legally responsible can make a contract and rent a short-term rental. I think some of the recommendation was that we go 25 years of age, and I think VRBOs and Airbnbs, you have to be 25 years old in those. So that's something that we might want to change in our ordinance. Another suggestion that was made was change short-term rental license to business license. Well, in Hart County, we don't require a business license, and I think it would be kind of unfair to just single these folks out and say, hey, you have to have a business license. But I have no problem with leaving that term, short-term rental license. The short-term rental license application fee, that's something we need to consider. Is $250 enough, or should it be more? And another suggestion that was made was shall not park on county right-of-way or along any public roadways. Well, their suggestion was put or private roadways, but I don't think we have the enforcement abilities on private property to do anything with that. So we'll have to leave that as county right-of-way, or because we can't go on private property and enforce the law as far as parking vehicles. But that was the main highlights that I saw that kind of stuck out to me. Did you others have any comments that y'all would?
One of the things that I get concerned with is that some of these people have 20, 30 boats at one dock. And I know we can't control core property, but I mean, if there's some kind of way we could control that somehow, or speak with the Corps, because you get 20 boats at one dock crowded around and tied up, this is dangerous.
That would be under DNR or something. I mean, the Sheriff's Department could get in touch with them and they could handle all that as far as, but you're right, we can't go out onto the lake and enforce county ordinance.
Like I said, that's definitely a public safety issue.
And I did read in there about the bedroom situation, how many bedrooms, 2 people per bedroom, that should be how many is allowed in the home too. That was another good point that was made. Go ahead, Commissioner Dorsey.
I'm going to go back and just kind of start from the beginning. This noise thing that came from Hall County, we got to keep in mind we're an agricultural-based community. You're going to have farm activities, agricultural activities, you're going to have farm animals that you're going to be able to hear from 100 feet of origin. Whatever we do, we got to be consistent across the county. You've got sports activities that you're going to be able to hear more than 100 feet. There's a lot of things out there. You have people who are going to be shooting fireworks, and people are going to argue this ordinance applies to that when state law plainly allows for fireworks, and now in the past it didn't. So I don't know that there's a whole lot we're going to be able to do with a noise ordinance, because you're going to have a decibel meter and you're going to have to monitor the sound levels at a prescribed distance for a specific amount of time. So I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just being a realist and telling you that that's where I see us having some problems. I think what we need to do is treat this as a required license, which is a privilege, just like our beer and wine license and other things that we have. And we lay out the ground rules of what's going to be expected up front. And then we can put things in place to address these. I'll be the first one to say, I agree, there are issues there. But, I'm not trying to be difficult here, but if you're going to say you can't park on county right-of-way and you have a car that breaks down, I mean, you got to look at the whole county. We can't just look at specific events. We got to look at the whole picture. You have things that have sporting events where people park on the side of the road. I mean, it does happen. And we got to be consistent. We can't do one for one and not for the other. So I'm not trying to be difficult or anything. I'm just trying to make sure everybody understands the environment in which we have to operate. We do have some ordinances about parking on right-of-way. And I mean, the last thing we want to do is have people who are in their homes and not be able to live in a quiet, peaceful environment. And we all take this seriously. And I think you're going to see some things come out of this board with an ordinance. But please keep in mind, we've got other situations that we have to look at too, and we got to be consistent and treat everybody the same. So I just want to make sure everybody's prepared for that.
Well, with the license, you could control it then. I mean, it would be per case. I mean,
Well, you lay out the ground rules, and if you give it to them, if they violate the penalties in the ordinance, so the first violation, this is what happens.
Warnings, fines, suspensions, revocations, whatever.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like you said about the other stuff. You can't. That's across the county, but with the license, you could completely control it.
Okay.
I wonder how many of these things are in Hart County.
Bunch,
There's a bunch of them, yeah.
hundreds.
Okay, Mr., would you like to come and speak?
Quick point, the noise level at a certain time, would that be out of the question, like after 10 o'clock?
You got two racetracks that's been operating here for a long time, and we've been down this road before, and I'm not trying to be difficult. You've got games that go on at the recreation departments and practice facilities that go after 10 o'clock. So, I mean, I don't know what the happy medium is. I don't know what we can do, but if you go and do an ordinance, a noise ordinance, you've got to have a decibel meter, you've got to specify distance, you've got to specify amount of time. The county attorney, we've been through this before. And, you know, then you get into dogs barking. I mean, it just opens up a can of worms, and I'm not trying to be difficult. I just want everybody to understand that we have to think about all these things and not just this particular one. And I think we'll be able to put some things in place.
One thing that has happened since those earlier discussions some years back is that decibel meters are far less expensive than they were back then. So that should not be an issue anymore.
One of those racetracks is 3.5 miles from my house, and you can hear it like it's in the backyard. Okay. But it's been here forever, Hartwell Speedway.
All right. And Mr. Gordon has a lot going on. I mean, we kept him pretty busy here, and I'm not blaming him for, leaving that behind tonight. I appreciate his efforts on working with us as much as we've got going on. But maybe we'll have the have the ordinance that we're looking at, a draft that we can look at the next regular meeting, and we will continue that discussion at that time, unless anybody wanted to speak on behalf of the short-term rental. Was there anybody that wanted to? This is your time. I mean, we would like to listen to you.
Back there in the back.
Okay.
You said next regular meeting, not next week?
Next regular meeting.
Regular.
Evening, Commissioners. Steve Giller. There is a short-term rental next to me, so I'm obviously very invested in any ordinance you can come up with. And Commissioner Dorsey, I absolutely appreciate your point of view for being consistent across the county. Get it completely. But I would encourage you to look at the short-term rental ordinance. I would encourage you to put as much teeth in it as you can. Chairman, you mentioned the number of maximum guests in the house based upon the bedrooms. Commissioner, you mentioned the number of boats, and I get the DNR issue. But when you're looking at cars, traffic, number of people, and taking away, all of us in the blue shirts here have short-term rentals within 2 houses from us. And when that homeowner's rights impinge upon my rights as a homeowner to enjoy my own home in peace, that they should not have the right to disturb my peace. So whether it's a decibel meter or whether it's simply what's written in the county ordinances today, there are county ordinances about if somebody approaches you in a vulgar manner, you can call the sheriff because that's prohibited by county ordinance. If somebody approaches you disrespectfully, you can call the sheriff. That's prohibited currently by county ordinance. So anything this short-term rental ordinance can do to put additional teeth into the rules that say that these homeowners who rent out their homes can't infringe upon the rights of everyone else in the county. I'm not trying to take away their rights. They can run their business. They can lease out their homes, but they can't do it at my detriment. And so that's all I would encourage you to do. Take care of all the homeowners who have to live next to these, as well as the homeowners who rent out their homes.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, Steve.
And,
Thank you.
and like I said, this is very important to us. We take this serious, but as Commissioner Dorsey said a while ago, that we've got to make it fair for the property owners, the ones that live there every week, and try to make it fair for those who want to rent out their homes. You know, that's their privilege also. So, but we'll have, in our next regular meeting, we'll have some more discussion on that, and you're welcome to come back and offer input into that.
And we'll have a revised, suggested revised ordinance to the board before that meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. All right, we'll move on to new business, tax assessor board vacancies. We've got 2 openings at the present time. It's been tough trying to get people to volunteer for these boards, but I may have somebody that's willing to step forward and go with this thing. I tried to get him on the election board, and he found out that wasn't for him, but he said, "Have you got any more of the boards?" So I said, "Well, we got this one." So maybe he's maybe interested in this. So, and another option that we have is to go from a 5-member board to a 3-member board. But the problem I have with and I was all for the 3-member board there for a while, but then I got to thinking, you know, what if you lose 2 of those members in 1 year, and then you only got 1 person left? Then you're going to have to hire, appoint 2 more, and that's not really fair to that 1 person that's going to be worked. You know, there's pros and cons to both sides, but I really think maybe we should just leave it at a 5-member board, and I'm trying my best to recruit people.
I agree with that.
Yeah, we don't want to go to a 3-man board or a 3-member board, because if you've got 2 board members talking to each other, you've got a violation of the open meetings laws, and that's not what we want.
That's right.
One thing that is an option, then you also have the turnover and the lack of experience for continuity continuing on. So.
Right.
And I've got somebody too, actually 2 people who may be interested.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yes.
And this office is the lifeline of the whole county. City Council, Board of Education, Board of Commissioners, everybody. So it's a very important position.
So like with the 5 members, if we limit it at 5, that means you got to have at least 3 there at any given time to take care of business. I got you. I'm for leaving it like it is then. We come up with somebody to
All right,
put on.
There's no need to take any action with that then tonight, because it's already a 5-member board. Okay. Credit for experience, EMS. I'll ask Mr. Adams if he'll come forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, a little over a year ago, we hired April Nicholson as an administrative assistant for the EMS. Like I said, she's been with us a little over a year. Before coming to work for us, she's got over 30 years' experience in the insurance, billing, and the healthcare field, and she's done a great job. She's come in and hit the ground running. Like I said, you've got the numbers. You can see between her work and the EMS staff documenting stuff, it's allowed us to collect what we're collecting. So, like I said, she got 30 years experience doing this. I'm asking to get her moved up to a 10-year.
What is she getting right now? How many years?
None. She start off at a basic pay grade. So I'm asking to give her 10 years experience.
I'll make a motion we grant that request based on our policy of granting credit for years of experience with previous employers that's like and similar.
I'll give you a second.
Can I make a suggestion?
Okay.
Because this kind of skews the number of years. She's been here 1 year.
Correct.
All right, give her.
So need an odd year.
We'll put her at 10 years. Because they give her 10.
Pushing the odd.
And 11, she's going to be at an odd year.
Yeah, that's true.
10.
Okay. That's fine.
That was basically what you was wanting anyway, to go to that 10-year
Right,
mark.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll amend that motion to do 9, which puts the 10-year credit as a whole.
Excuse me, my
I
second.
didn't think about that.
Yeah, thank you, Alana, for that point. Any discussion? Anyone? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 4-0. And like I said, it does reflect on these collections, EMS right here, the job she's doing, and tell her we appreciate it. All right? Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it, Mike.
All right, next on the agenda is job description, code enforcement officer. Would y'all like to just hold off on this till Terrell's back?
Yes.
Huh?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Take no action tonight and just wait till Terrell.
there's a lot to that.
Right. And then we'll go on to joint meeting between City Council and the School Board. Commissioner Dorsey called me about this and wanted this put on the agenda, so I'll turn the floor over to Commissioner Dorsey at this time.
It's all about growth, managing it and being prepared for it. This board's taken some actions, and I want to share a little bit of data before I go into it. What we've doing this year is we started tracking the number of building permits, and I also asked that we track new 911 addresses. Before you get a building permit, you got to have a 911 address. So there's kind of a measure here that we'll kind of talk about. In January, which January 1's where the building inspections went in place, we didn't have any building permits that were given out. However, we gave out 16 new 911 addresses, 16 new residences created. February, we had 6 building permits given out. In February, we gave out 21 new 911 addresses. March, there were 17 new building permits for new homes. We give out 92 new addresses.
In March.
In March. 60 of these came in from one source, and some of these are in the city. And the building permits that I'm talking about are specifically county issued. The 911 addresses are all through the county, the municipalities, Bowersville, Royston, Cannon, and Hartwell. And so far in April, there's been 4 new building permits and 4 new 911 addresses. So the building hasn't slowed down. And there's different reasons for differences. Some of these new 911 addresses could be mobile homes that are being moved, but these are new residences that are being created for the most part. And the reason I want to talk about this is we hear rumors all the time, but the board that is hit the most and is impacted the most by growth is the school board, the Board of Education. That's where over 70% of your property tax dollars go. They have absolutely no say in any of the growth that's going on. I think everybody's aware this board is taking steps to try to manage the growth. We put the moratoriums in place. We've tightened up our subdivision ordinance that we're working on. We made it a lot more stringent. We're not saying people can't come here, but we're trying to manage growth. The last thing we want is to get overrun by this tidal wave, because once we're overrun, it'll make it almost impossible to catch up. But I've also talked to a city council member as well, and I think it would be in everybody's best interest that we have a joint meeting, preferably sometime in May, give everybody time to participate, to get their schedules clean, with the Board of Education, the Board of Commissioners, and the Hartwell City Council. And I've talked to Rosanna, which I asked her if she would be willing to facilitate, if your board's okay with that. Talked to the school superintendent. He's on board 100%. I think we can do it at the Fine Arts Center. That way we'd have plenty of seating if there's a large contingency that comes. But we owe it to the taxpayers to tell them what we're doing and how we're going to manage growth. What are our plans? And everybody in this community is concerned about it. I mean, everywhere you go, or I go anyway, I hear people stop and want to talk about it. People call me. And I think everybody knows this board is very transparent. And I just think that this is a good move. It's in the right direction, and it gives those folks on the school board who have to deal with the hand that the Board of Commissioners and the City Council deal in. And so I'm going to put that in the form of a motion that we try to organize a meeting with the City Council and the Board of Education sometime in May. And if Archway Board is okay and Rosanna's okay, have her facilitate it. And if we can get it at the Fine Arts Center, we'll do it at the Fine Arts Center.
Now, I'll give you a second on that.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, before one thing, Rosanna, could you work, and maybe, you probably know everybody's schedule better than anybody as far as the city, and if you could kind of schedule this meeting? Okay, as a board, could y'all work on that? Okay. All right, we got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey and a second by Commissioner Teasley. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 4-0 vote. All right. Thank you, Commissioner Dorsey, and I think that's a point that was made as far as the school board having no say in the growth, but has a lot of responsibility in it at the same time. So we're just wanting to give them a seat at the table and have a discussion. So we come to this point of the meeting for public comment. Do we have anyone here that would like to speak to the board? Okay, Mr. Owens.
A lot of times y'all see me come up here and talk as the recreation director. Tonight I want to talk as a Hart County citizen. On April 2nd at 2:45 a.m., my house caught on fire. I wanted to come and say thank you to the Hart County firemen, to the Hart County Sheriff's Department, and the Hart County 911. They are my heroes because they got there fast. If your house is on fire, you don't think it's fast, but they got there quick. And I wanted to come and say publicly thank you to them and to you guys for the equipment you give them, the people you hire, the training you give them, and the Sheriff's Department and 911 as well. So thank you very much. I just wanted to say that to them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to make a comment at this time? If not, can we get a motion to adjourn and go into executive session with litigation?
Someone. Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey, second by Commissioner Teasley, and all in favor? It's 4-0 vote. We will take like a 5-minute recess or so right quick.
Fellas, we'll see y'all.
All right, thank you, Walter. Get a motion to adjourn executive session.
I'll make a motion to adjourn executive session.
We got a second?
All right, it's welcome to the rest.
What'd you say? I did. I need to write that down. Bennett made the motion.
Walter didn't have a summary of our ordinance.
Which he said he probably wouldn't have it by this point.
That's a lot of stuff to put together.
Are y'all out of executive session?
We hadn't voted yet. We're out, but we hadn't voted yet.
Bennett made the motion and Commissioner Dorsey second. Are you recording this?